George, can you hear us here in the room? Oh, you're.
Is that better? Be right back. I just got to get a couple of things.
Hey, Matt,
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to get you. Don't worry.
I'm on it. You can't see me?
Can you hear us? Because we're
No.
hollering at you.
No, you can't see George either?
Oh, we can see you guys, but we can't hear, we didn't want to know if you can hear us.
No, I can't hear
We've
you.
been talking to you, but you haven't answered.
No, I can't hear. Well, let me just try it. No.
Matt, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right.
I know this seems really crazy, but, you know, I guess it's the times we live in.
Nothing seems crazy anymore.
No.
It's-
I don't know. Lou and Mark look awful cozy over there, though. Because we missed the flags.
That's all right.
Tom and I are on the outcast section.
Yeah.
Yeah, they think we're infected, I
Yeah.
think.
The plastic table there.
I've already had it, thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you have it, Tom? When did you have it?
Last Thanksgiving,
Oh,
a
yeah.
year ago.
Yeah, I had mine
I'm
back.
still
in-
getting my
George, did you say
Yes.
something? Oh, there you go.
I'm here.
Okay. All right. I'll have your items ready to put on if Jeff gives us permission. He's got control over the host. And
Oh, I see. So you're not the, yeah, that's
no,
right.
but in my screen, I say I can reclaim at any time,
I
but
see.
it says there's a note up here saying I might disrupt breakout rooms, polls, and screen share. So I think I'll stay away from that.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But they'll turn. They
So
should turn back on here in a second. Yeah.
will I be putting stuff up on my screen for screen sharing, or is that?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, we'll give it a try.
Yeah, they may be recording us and watching us right now. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think I got a thing that they were recording. It was probably about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is being recorded. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, forgot about that.
It's time.
Is everybody there?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess I got another minute. Okay. They have hard copies of everything as well.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, would you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good evening. We will bring the we have a.
I'll make a motion to
Motion.
approve October 25th.
Second.
You hear a second from Lou? All right, any discussion? All those in favor? All right, that carries. November 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve November 17th minutes.
All righty.
Second.
Lou seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries. All right. Like I said, December 1st, we haven't got those yet, so we'll hang on to that for next meeting. We'll move on to financial reports, payroll warrants. We can do these individually if you guys like, or
I make a
Yep.
motion, we accept payroll warrant number 30.
I'll second it.
Lou, Mark seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, we'll move that along. Number 33.
I make a motion, we pass payroll number 33.
I'll second it.
All right, Lou and Mark. Any discussion? All those in favor? Oh, all right, move that one along. Accounts payable. We'll start with number 31.
I make a motion, we pass accounts payable number 31.
All right, thank you, Lou.
I'll second.
Josh seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, we have 34. That's at the fire department warrant.
I make a motion, we pass number 34.
I'll second.
And Tom seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I'll abstain on this
And
one.
Josh abstains. Yeah. We'll move on to number 32, the Hager warrant.
I make a motion, we pass number 32.
Okay, thank you, Lou. Any second?
Second.
All right, Tom seconds. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? All right,
I abstain.
3, Mark abstains.
I oppose.
And we have 1 opposed on Josh. All right. Okay, so that's it for the financial reports. I believe we have a presentation tonight from the Historical Elements Focus Group with George Parker, I think, taking the lead. So we're ready when you are, George.
Okay, I guess I'm here. Let me see. I've been working on this so long, I never remember what you guys have seen and what you haven't seen, but you're probably going to be sick of it too. But anyways, the task that we had was to try to include other people that hadn't been involved in the project. One of them, Valerie Seibel, who's the chairman of the Damariscotta Historical Society, as well as the more familiar faces of Barnaby Porter and Elf and Sherry Sage, and then Tom Anderson's been on there, Lou's been on there. So it's we've been working on it, what, 6 weeks now, whatever. What it really comes down to, we're working along with the design team because they're working along to try to complete their drawing so we can get the things out for permitting and get out for bid as soon as we can. But after much discussion in terms of what to include or not to include, we talked about the obvious thing of shipbuilding on the river, but I had suggested, well, maybe there's other elements we want to consider, being that the brickmaking on the river back in the 1840s was a very significant industry, and most of the buildings that you see in town were built with Damariscotta River brick after the town itself burned down in the 40s. And then there's oyster growing now, and then there's the old Native American Indian mound and so forth. It was decided, however, to limit the focus of any historical memories of the park and so forth to the shipbuilding industry. And without really, we don't have time to actually get in the specifics, but what Tom had suggested was to come up with some goals and objectives. And I think you've been given hard copies of whatever. Let's try sharing the screen. I haven't done that, but let me see what happens in here. Screen, share screen. All right. There. What happens? Is that showing on your screen?
George, yeah.
Okay, well, this is a drawing that we actually just got from the design group that are doing the park and so forth. The efforts here were to provide some places on the back side of the wall to show some panels. So let me back up a little bit here because I've got, hold on, I didn't, decided to break it into goals of the design project as regards history and then objectives. And I don't know whether you want me to read through these things. I mean, basically, we decided to keep the thing just to shipbuilding, preserve and enhance the natural aspects of the park, basically keep the park very simple. There definitely will be some historical elements in the park, either few boards that would explain the thing. I'll get into that in a few more minutes. But it all has to be compatible with the downtown area and really keep it simple for it'll be much nicer than what's there, but there was some discussion about getting into huge replicas of the mast. It would be like 165 feet high. And I had suggested something which we might be able to at some time if we afford it, build a replica of bow and the stern of the ship in a very simple way to illustrate how long is 256 feet long. But the real objectives was to keep it representative of building legacy. Implemented design, it's not obtrusive, simplistic, uncluttered, natural, permanent, to create the result that enhances the natural and welcoming aspect of the waterfront in the park, and to create a result that can be appreciated throughout the year for those who experience it, develop the park to the extent possible, and install adequate seating. Those are basically the elements, and Tom actually had a big hand in putting these together, suggesting it. We talked about it, added some stuff, changed some things, but that was basically what we did. The basic, what we ended up doing was taking a look at the wall and how we could build some historical panels in the wall, which resulted in, one thought that I had here was to illustrate about what was going to happen and what the wall and the viewports and so forth would look like. This is a drawing that I put together, and it would include some form of a gateway arch across there, so that this happens to be the center of the wall itself, which, if you're coming down Taco Alley, there'll be a pathway that'll lead to this, and this will give something up high to really make people see that there's an entranceway there and not just a long 500-foot wall. The actual pattern in the wall will be what they call a form liner. There's a lot of different choices there. There's been some talk of brick, stone. You can get sort of replicas of that, but it's all going to be out of concrete. And talking with the landscape architect, he strongly suggested that what we should use is a more of a geometrical pattern that is not trying to replicate a material that it'll never really replicate. You said it'll become passe after a while, and you're going to be stuck with it forever. So I have a slide here of some stuff that they were suggesting. The panels, what I was suggesting is we actually create some panels that can be done as graphic panels on both sides of the wall, primarily on the park side of the wall, just so that you have a more ability to really get up close. You can have graphic, you can have printing, you can have pictures and so forth. What'll be on the parking lot side will be much more simple, because it's going to be, some of it's going to be covered up with cars and so forth. But this is all to be really more formally designed if they, when and if this whole flood wall and part goes ahead. But anyways, this is what was suggested by the landscape architect to give an idea of the different kind of materials, this being brick pavers, and this is oyster shell paving, I guess, for the walkways that'll be going down the length of the park. This is what he was talking about, and kind of waves that would be part of the pattern of the wall out of concrete. Probably be a flagpole there. I think the talk was just to move the flagpole that's over by the town ramp over as part of the entryway part. There'll be some lighting, both walkway lighting and some other lighting that'll provide lighting for the park, as well as lighting some of the parking lot adjacent to it. Boulders, actual wall itself will be boulders and not just riprap of small stone like you see right now. And then there'll be some chairs and tables to be part of it. But this gives you a good idea of what at least they're thinking. Going back to this, let me down at the bottom of this sheet right here is a very quick sketch of the possible entryway to the park, which we talked about including some sort of an element of shipbuilding in it. He sort of added a ship as part of that. But it's a nice little schematic sketch of what you might do. So with all of that said, we basically, I think this has been sent around to the committee, it's at our meeting Monday. We basically voted on the goals, objectives, and the design pretty much of the wall with the historical panels and so forth in it. That's that sheet that you got there. In the meeting, we voted each and every one of them, and the committee recommended that that be accepted, and hopefully you will concur with us. But I guess it's time for some questions.
Thank you, George.
Okay.
Um,
How do I get rid of this the screen sharing here?
um,
George, I see two problems. Number
Okay.
one, there's no funds available at this point. Is the committee going to set up and try to solicit funds for this project?
Well, what I don't know what your past discussions have been. No, the latest estimates that we had was that I think the flood wall and park was going to be in the vicinity of $2 million. The total park and so forth, I think you can correct me, Matt, but I think it's like 4.2 million or something like that.
Yes.
Obviously, unless there's something dramatic happens, we're probably not going to have funds to build a wall in the park at this point in time. What will happen is that the parking lot will get redone, and we're going to have to then seek funds to fund the wall and park if we can. Matt's been wonderful about going out and getting the funds that we've had so far. But who knows what's going to happen in the future. So what's going to happen if that wall and the park and stuff go ahead at some point? There'll have to be major grant applications done. There'll be a lot of elements of the park, the history, the panels, and that sort of thing. Probably will be funds raised locally for people to donate. Some of the chairs and tables and elements at the panels, even whatever, probably will end up being done locally. When we built the park originally back, oh gosh, it's starting to approach 30 years now, 25 years. That all of the benches and the trees and various things in the park were basically the town funded 16,000 to repair the riprap, and we raised the other 16,000 from people buying a bench or buying a tree or whatever, and that's what got built. And over the years, it's been an effort to try to keep it look the way it has. It's been up and down. So I guess the answer is it's a something be determined. I think after the bids come in, I think Matt has said that we're making the flood wall in the park an alternate, so that we can have a definite cost, adding definite cost for the basic work. And hopefully,
Just to step in for a second,
Sure.
what George is talking about is presenting what the focus group came up with, and their charter was to come up with the theme and the implementation of that theme for the park whenever and if it's ever developed. So there was a lot of discussion to get to the point that we got to, which is to select shipbuilding as the focus and to keep it, simple, nothing elaborate, and compatible with the rest of the downtown area, which is not going to change. So that's the limit to that, what he's talking about tonight. There's another committee, I think, the waterfront committee, that has a bigger, function. Maybe George, you're on that committee too, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. and some of that committee has been on the focus committee too, which
Yeah.
sometimes we get we forget exactly what our role is sometimes, but
George, can I cut in for a minute real quick?
sure.
Matt, did you have something to add? I saw your hand up there. and I was
Yeah,
trying to-
I did. I just wanted to get back to Lou's question on the funding and just maybe explain the context of where we are. So the Economic Development Administration has allowed us to go forward with the bid process. They want the flood control measures to be included in there. And by flood controls measures, I mean the wall. But they realize that it's going to be too expensive to do that now when we get the bids back. That's just, based on the estimates we've got. So they're allowing us to go forward with everything, including the very important drainage improvements and the parking lot reconstruction, the pedestrian walkways, and these other improvements. But then, and this is the key part, I think it answers Lou's question. If the prices come back too high, more than the roughly 2.5 million that we still have available for this project, they've said you could proceed with that first phase that I described, the parking lot reconstruction, the drainage and the pedestrian walkways, but wait on this additional phase. This phase 2, which would include the wall and the park improvements to fix up what's destroyed during the wall construction. Now, what's important here is that EDA has said, we know you may not have enough money, but we're open to looking at additional grant applications after you complete that first phase. So that's a very important part of this. And so as far as fundraising for this element goes that George is talking about, we may be in the position where we have to come up with some local funds as the match, but hopefully EDA will come through with a second grant for us.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. Thank you. I'd just like to commend the group, with George and Tom here on, I know it's a challenge sometimes to get everybody to focus and narrow something down, but you guys have done a great job getting it narrowed down to a small area to focus on. So that's an important step. So thank you, gentlemen. Yeah. And you all make sure you pass it along to the rest of the group that's not on the Zoom tonight. So thank you. Do we have any other questions for George or Tom?
Lou had a second question, I thought.
The second
Sorry, Lou.
question
Yeah.
was, the committee's done a fine job on laying out what they propose. But are we going to take and open this up so the public can get involved a little bit more to see if this is what they really want?
Okay, you want me to? I can answer that if you'd like.
Yeah, if you, I wasn't sure
Okay.
who
Yeah,
was going to be
so-
answering that one.
So as far as the first phase that I just referred to, the parking lot reconstruction, et cetera, that's pretty much set. We've got the 60% drawings for that. That's what's going out for bid. There's not going to be much, if any, opportunity for additional public input there. But when we get to the design of the park, I believe we've got a couple years, because we're not going to have the dollars, the grant dollars and the town match dollars to do the detail that's being discussed here. So I think there will be additional opportunity. Certainly there'll be additional time to review the park plans.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Any other questions or comments right now for the historical element focus group?
Well, I'm wondering, Matt and George, whether or not, because we have the press here, whether or not we want to, make available what we have approved here, if the selectmen approve it, to give the public an idea of where this group was going, so they could think about it. It's not necessary, but I thought, full disclosure, why not?
Yeah, well, I think that drawing that we got on Tuesday, I guess it um, was a sort of a work in progress. And I think they need to bring that up because that's a good drawing that shows, show the public what that whole wall will look like. And I think if we push to get that from them, I think, that is something that should be shown at some point, but I don't, I think Matt, Selectmen Committee needs to decide, I guess, exactly how best and when to present that to the town.
Yeah, like with the 60% drawings, I sent those out attached to a newsletter. And I'm not sure if Becky's done it yet, but she is going to, if not already, put those 60% design drawings online. And I'll do the same when these park drawings get closer to final and make it clear that these are still in the discussion stage.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I know Evan, when he was with the paper, he published some of the pictures, some of the designs of the 60% drawings. So I don't see why they couldn't do that again in the Lincoln County News.
Do our press corps over there.
Yeah,
in the
lead
corner.
reporter.
He's nodding over there, so. All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for the bringing us up to speed and
Right.
appreciate the hard work, so thank you.
All right.
Well, there's no
Well,
more.
If it's all the same to you, I think I'll sign off. Is that
All
okay?
right, George. Yeah.
All right. But
Thank you.
George.
Have a good
George.
evening. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Great. So we'll move right along, gentlemen. Matt, is there any correspondence or anything this evening? You have nothing?
No, the only thing I
Yeah.
just ask if there's, if you have any objections to the recommendations of the historic elements focus group. Just, I want to be able to give the consultants that recommendation.
Yeah, we can move
Or
along with that
that
now.
decision.
Anybody, have any comments or I personally, I think they're doing a good job. They've got it lined up and focused. So
Okay,
the rest of the board.
I'm still waiting to hear from the engineer on what's the lifespan of this wall.
Right, yeah. There's some engineering
Oh,
questions.
yeah. Well,
That
that,
answer, but as far as the focus group, though, with the historical elements, I think it's, we okay to keep them plugging away. But yes, Josh, we need to get some, questions answered
Everybody seems
from the
to be-
engineer, so.
Everybody seems to be dodging that question.
Yeah.
no, I believe he responded to those questions and he responded to several questions, and
We didn't get.
one of the responses was that. Now, whether that's sufficient a response, I guess that's another question, but I will send that email to you again.
Yeah, please send that out, Matt. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can follow up on that. Yeah. Oh, thank you. All right. Was that sufficient then to keep the historical group moving along? Oh,
well, they're done.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
No, they're
So
done.
we'll give you,
You did good,
you
Tom.
guys focus and got it
Thanks.
done, and thank you.
Yes. Very good.
All right. So we'll move it along. Matt, is there any citizen comments or
No.
correspondence on your end? Yep.
No.
We're good. Okay, so we'll go through your
Okay.
manager items here.
And I've got a couple more late breaking items as well. So just on the Main Street sidewalk, I had wanted to give you an update on that a few weeks ago, but we had a very long meeting, so we ran out of time then. But on the sidewalk, we did do a walkthrough with, I'd say 7 or 8 of the main DOT people there. We had folks representing the Public Safety and Accessibility Committee, and I think that was it. I don't think anyone from your group. I was certainly there. And we walked through the project, but I think one of the key takeaways from that is we talked about the differences between a sidewalk and a multi-purpose walkway. And according to the MDOT folks, if we were to build a 10-foot wide asphalt multi-purpose walkway, we wouldn't need a separate bikeway. We wouldn't need new curbing, maybe perhaps with some exceptions there for drainage purposes, but generally we could build a wide walkway, a wide multi-purpose path for about the same cost or maybe even a little less. So they are proceeding with that as kind of the #1 alternative at this point. A big factor is going to be the acquisition of the right-of-way that they need. But it seemed like a very good alternative to a sidewalk, and then trying to figure out a shoulder width for a bikeway. So especially, I mean, a key factor, at least in my mind, was that if you use the shoulder, you really need to build it on both sides of the road. And we don't have money to do that, because you wouldn't want bicycle traffic going against the motorized traffic in the shoulder. So I think this option makes a lot of sense, but they are moving forward on that. They're beginning the discussion on the right of way and continuing to work on a design. So it was good to see them moving forward on that. We do need to get more development in Camden Plaza so that we can be in a position to go out for a bond for the sidewalk using the TIF as the revenue generator. But I'm confident that will come. Let's see, I gave you a list. I left it on your dais there of upcoming special town meeting warrant articles. I think it's important we just keep track of that. So there's 4 items that I think we'll want to take to a special town meeting next month or early the following month, and then the annual town meeting. We've discussed those 3 items previously. So yeah, and if there's any questions on that, let me know. Oh, and the one item where we've discussed kind of both sides of this on whether or not we need to go to a town meeting to have the voters approve the allocation of the American Rescue Plan dollars, the ARPA dollars. And MMA came out with one opinion, and then many of the town managers I've talked with have said that they don't think it's necessary to go to town meeting. So I asked our main legal source of information, or our main source of legal information, Amanda Meter, and she said to be on the conservative side, it's best to take it to a town meeting. So that's what we'll do. I'll have that list ready for you at your January 5th meeting. And I've been sharing it with you and asking you to respond individually, because I don't think we're ready for prime time on that yet. So if you have any other thoughts on that draft I've been asking you to comment on, let me know.
Thank you, Matt.
So that's where we're at with regard to the ARPA funds. The Harbormaster Stipend, this is just something that came out yesterday. You'll recall that Newcastle is the lead town on administering the Harbormaster and the Harbor Management Ordinance, but the ordinance requires that both towns set the stipend. And at their meeting Monday night, the Newcastle board decided that the stipend for the position should be $3,500 a year. And again, as you probably recall, Paul Bryant has said he will be leaving that position, which he served in, I think, since 1971, if I'm not mistaken. But he's going to leave that position, so the Harbor Committee and the town of Newcastle are going to need to hire a new harbor master. So I just wanted to make sure there weren't any objections to the Newcastle board's decision to set the salary stipend at $3,500.
Is that the same as it was before, or is that more or less?
It's a lot more. Paul worked for free.
I was going to say, it seems awfully modest for what's required if you read the job description, but good luck finding somebody that'll do it, I guess.
Hard to get them for free now, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no, I think we're okay with that.
Okay.
Somebody in to do it.
And then yesterday I did get the estimates from Crooker on the work for on Belvedere, section of Church Street and Egypt Road. It's the reconstruction at the level that I had discussed with the board previously. What I'd like to do is give you their total quote for the whole project, which was $1,222,232. And that did not include any ditching and drainage. And if we had a contractor do the ditching and drainage for us and not have the road crew, which is one person right now, do it, we'd be paying an estimated $12 to $15 a foot. Works out to 41,000 lane miles. These are my calculations. And that cost would be somewhere between 492 and 615,000 more. So if you figure roughly another 500,000, assuming that Hugh would be able to do some of the ditching, we're at approximately 1.7 million for those three projects. And in the last 24 hours, I haven't had a chance to check interest rates and contact the banks, but I'd certainly be able to do that before your next meeting, your January 5th meeting.
Rates are going up.
How time sensitive, Matt, do you think on the rates and stuff right now?
Well, there's going to be a lag time with the Fed. I think they're increasing short-term rates.
Right.
We're looking at long-term rates. I think you will want to get quotes fairly quickly and then schedule this for a special town meeting.
Yeah, I was going to
shortly
suggest that if you get moving on it and you need to call us in for a special meeting, then
Yeah,
let's not wait 3 weeks if we don't.
right.
Rates go up. Yeah, thank you, Matt.
I
Yeah.
got a question for Matt is, we got some money from Sherman Williams and the dollar store for part of that sidewalk, don't we?
No,
Paid for?
this is different than that. That sidewalk is the sidewalk from GSB to McDonald's. So that's not included in these quotes.
Okay,
And basically what they did is they gave us the construction cost that was estimated at Wright Pierce at the time for the sidewalk in front of Sherwin-Williams Dollar General. So, I mean, that goes back to the last topic I was talking about, the Main Street sidewalk, but it
Yeah,
doesn't relate.
that's what I meant, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant to say, number one.
Oh, number one, yeah, we have about $36,000 in the bank that's earmarked to go toward the Main Street sidewalk project.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Matt. All right. Any other questions for Matt at this point on the manager items?
And then I'm going to give you a couple more here. So you're aware of the COVID issue we've got here. It looks like we're not going to be fully staffed until after Christmas here at Town Hall. So that's assuming that none of us bystanders were caught the virus. I don't think we did, but So we may have to have some hours the town hall is closed, essentially so Cheryl can go to lunch. So just make you aware of that, and I'll follow up with an email if we have to do some lunch hour closings. We have a complaint against a department and an employee that Cheryl and I have been investigating. I'm certain, well, I'm not absolutely certain, but I don't think that we're going to be able to resolve it at our administrative level. We may need to involve the selectmen acting as the personnel board to review that. So I just want to give you a heads up in case you see some emails on that. We haven't had that come up before. So we've had a personnel board appeals from employees, but we've never had that we were able to resolve before it got to the personnel board level. But we've never had a citizen complaint that's gone to the board, at least as long as I've been here. So we'll see how that all comes out. I may be asking our legal counsel for more guidance on that. And then just in the last few minutes, I got a quote from Andrew Hedrick. And what I asked him to do was give us a revised estimate on the Miles Street project, assuming that the Army Corps of Engineers would allow riprap option, and assuming that we do just the causeway itself and the storm drainage improvements at Schooner and Miles. We sent in the application that Max helped us with last week, the application for FEMA funds. And the response we got back was it's an incomplete application and we need to really scale back the amount we ask for. So I had asked Andrew to come up with this revised estimate. So Max is kind of out of pocket right now. Bob Faunce and I are working on amending the application. I may be asking Sandy, who's watching here, to give us a hand. But Jeff, if you let me screen share, I'll share this.
Go ahead.
I've got it on my screen. Let's see, screen share.
Pressure's on, Matt.
No, it's just my fumbly fingers. Now, which screen do you see? The town manager notes or the?
We see an estimate, but we
Yeah,
can't
Yes,
read it.
okay. So, yeah, you can see that the total has come down from the one bid we got, which was close to $1 million. And with this scaled down project, he's gotten us down to 491,000.
I was going to ask
So I
Josh.
think,
He's closer.
Given the money that we've got available from both Lincoln Health and the town capital reserves, I think we'll be able to put in a very competitive, at least a much more competitive application here. If we can come up, and I think we can easily come up with half that amount. It'll well, yeah, we'll come in line.
That estimate's on riprap then.
This is using the riprap and instead of a
Instead of the wall.
retaining wall, replacing the retaining wall.
Yeah, okay.
So, and that has, as I said, that's not yet been approved by the Army Corps, but they sent us an encouraging note saying, potentially it's possible that they will allow the riprap. We may just have to make a payment in lieu of wetlands additions. So that's kind of the way that works.
Mark's got a question over here.
Matt, do we know how much in lieu, what would that payment be approximately?
We don't know, and Andrew had no idea.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know yet. I mean, I think it's totally discretionary on the part of the Army Corps, and if DEP gets involved on their part as well.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'm just going to proceed with that, with these numbers in a amendment to our application that we submitted earlier. That's okay?
Yeah,
Yep.
it sounds good, Matt. Yep.
Okay, so
Get
that's,
something out of them. Yep.
Okay, Matt, I get one final question. Can we put a number on that just to help with the grant in case we're able to come through with that, to help us with that in lieu of,
Yeah, like a guesstimate on the loo.
I'll ask, I'm not comfortable making a guesstimate on that, but I'll ask Andrew Hedrick if he has a plug figure that he could put in there.
I'm just looking at if you get the 491, if we could put something, because it may help.
Well, the most we can get will be, and a grant is 250,000. So we're looking at about 250,000 from the town and from the hospital. And we currently have available to us 365,000. So we've got some flexibility on that, but that's, you know, I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to use some of what the town is committed to and the hospital is committed to for the other portion of the project that's not included here. So, but I guess my point is we do have some flexibility for additional funding. Yeah, even if they do charge us a hefty sum for the payment in lieu. I don't know. I don't want to put Sandy and Emily on the spot, but have you had any experience in these payment of lieu payments when you use some wetlands for a project?
Emily?
So I haven't, only because I did most of my permitting work in New York, and that's something that wouldn't fly. They would make you find a way to give back some wetlands, even if it was, say, in another part of the area. Maybe it's not directly where you're putting this, fixing to the causeway, but they'd find another area to fit it. But I am so happy to research more and reach out to DEP.
So that would be great.
Okay.
Appreciate that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Any more hidden in there?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for all that. Well, if you're good there, we'll move on to official action items for the evening. And we've got a few here. We'll get a chance to take a peek at them. First one on the list, we have we're looking at a resolution approving the Lincoln County Hazard Mitigation Plan. I think, Steve, are you here to attest to that, or?
Yes.
You want to just give us a short little overview, or?
Well, it's an
Yeah,
update.
come on
You gotta come
up
up
to
to the
the,
mic,
we'll put you
Steve.
up to the mic up here, Steve. Put you right on the spot. Yeah. If you hit some highlights or any changes or anything you want to bring to our attention, then we'll see.
Well, there is a plan that is developed or updated every 5 years. And that's what this is update from the 2016 plan. And I looked through what has been developed, because they do it at a county level, so that all the towns don't have to do their own thing. And it's all done as a county level.
Sure.
And it's quite involved. It's about 300 some pages.
It's a big book.
Breeze through it. There's a lot of data in there.
Yeah.
It addresses the risks that are out there from natural events like wildfires and summer severe storms, winter storms.
Yeah.
But it's pretty, from what I can see, they've pretty much covered everything. You know, it's pretty involved.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive. Yeah.
Question.
And there's projects that, we've identified that need to be addressed. And what you can do is if they're identified in the plan, then you're allowed to draw down from grant programs.
Oh,
That's what the main thing, as I understand it, is you have projects in there. If you get a chance to use some grant money, you can put it towards these projects.
okay, yeah.
That's what all this is
So-
supposed to back up.
So I don't know how you did it, but there are 348 pages and the one page somebody put in the package today is the one page I had a question on. Which is amazing. But anyway, the top of this,
Clairvoyant.
the top of this page 155, if you look in the box on the right, it says, it seems like it's outdated and not been updated. And since it represents the town, we might want to fix that. But it says 2 culverts to be upsized in 2017 and 1 in 18. So are those done, or should we change that wording or what?
I'm not sure what. I can't see that.
Oh,
If you don't mind, could I jump in for a second?
yeah.
Yeah, please do.
Sure. So, hi, I'm Sandy Gilbreth from the Lincoln County Regional Planning Commission. I'm here tonight with Emily, also from Lincoln County Planning Commission. Her and I put together this update for the Lincoln County's Hazard Mitigation Plan for the 2022 update. So we, like Steve said, it's comprehensive for all of Lincoln County. So we reached out to each of the EMA directors and different public works and other folks in every town to get information about those projects that Steve mentioned, as well as areas that would be vulnerable to natural disasters and any other potential countywide projects that could happen in addition to ones that would be relevant for your town. So the information that is in there for Damariscotta is a reflection of the information that that Steve gave us to update. So there's 2 different tables that are relevant to Damariscotta. There's the ones from the 2016 plan, and then there's a column about how those what the status of those are now. And then there's a table with new projects that are ones that are desired to do for the future. So the idea, like Steve said, is that you'd be able to go for FEMA funding, specifically hazard mitigation funding, and that BRIC application that Matt was referring to earlier that needed to be changed, that the dollar amount needed to be changed, and it was the application was deemed incomplete. So for that application to go through, this plan needs to be adopted by Damariscotta to be able to be eligible for that. So that's what those 2 tables are, is one's for the previous projects with an updated column, and then new projects that you want to get funded for the future.
But I go back to my question. Do you happen to have the document in front of you?
I do.
So on page, it's marked 155. It's really 156 because of the way there's a blank page or something.
That's the road updates.
Yeah, this one, yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the Lincoln County. It's not what.
No,
they're
not
talking
that,
about.
not that, this thing.
That has nothing to do with this.
This is in the document. This is,
It
in.
does,
Yeah,
It's in the document.
yeah, this is,
it does. This is part of it.
it's part of it.
So my question is,
Sorry.
if you look at the top of the box on page 155, do you have it there?
I do.
Okay. Is that the way it's supposed to read at this point in time?
Yes. So you mean the boxes that are labeled 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12?
No, it's the box says Belvedere Road is the number 6.
Yeah.
Just that one there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the far right, it says new culvert close to Route 1 bypass upsize. That's fine. 2 culverts to be upsized in 2017. It seems to me that's stale information, or were they? And then it says 1 to be done in 2018. All I'm saying is, were they done, or they still needed to be done, or whatever?
So that number 6 for the one you're referring to, that is from the table that was taken directly from the 2016 plan. So that was what was listed in 2016 as a wish list project, that those should be updated in 2017. As you'll see in that box next to it, that's blank where it says status for 2021. We
Right.
didn't get an update for that project, which is okay. That's all right. The table below that, which I believe starts on page, let me just get back to my document here, which starts on page 156. Those two projects, those are the new ones that will be, that are the ones that are for the future. Those are the new ones for 2021. the new update.
Okay, so I get,
Yeah.
so while we're all here, I'm just saying, do we have any updates on those culverts so we could put in that box?
So we didn't provide a status update on that
Right.
project
Right.
for you folks, basically.
Right, and that's
On your-
fine for qualifying Damariscotta in the plan. Also,
Okay.
right now, this plan has, it's called APA approval from FEMA, so approval pending adoption. So the plan is approved by FEMA so far, as is all the information that's there. The way that you get final approval and for the plan to be active is then to get the adopted resolutions from the towns. So at the
Okay.
moment, we're not taking any edits to the plan.
Got it.
Once the plan is active, then you can submit amendments afterwards to either add projects, add vulnerable areas, make updates, things like that. So until the plan is active, which should be, fingers crossed, everything goes as it should be right after January 13th, when the current plan expires, then you can make amendments to FEMA to change the plan.
Okay. All right, fine.
Thank you. I think that clarifies it. Yep.
We have made the improvements on Belvedere Road, those 4 culverts.
Yeah.
I think that was the question. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
I didn't think that was part of this.
Um,
Okay.
All right. Any other questions for the group from the board?
No.
All right. Well, we can, do we hear
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we approve the program as written.
I'll second it.
all right, Mark seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, motion carries. Oh, all right. Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Steve.
Thank you, guys.
If you don't mind, just one other comment. There is a resolution that does need to be signed, which I believe, Matt, if I haven't sent it to you, I will, but you should, I think you have it. So the selectmen will need to sign that and then send it back to us, either hard copy or by scan. And then for Damariscotta specifically, because you all are going for that application, it's really important that you all do that as soon as it makes sense for you, but definitely before January 13th, because that is when our current plan expires, and we want to make sure there's plenty of time that for the plan to get formally approved by FEMA, so you meet that January 28th deadline for the brick application.
Yeah, we'll get it all signed. Everything's right in front of us here. We'll get it all
Wonderful.
signed over to Matt and we'll move it right along. So thank you.
Great, thank you all very much.
All right, yeah. All right, we have a quick claim deed tonight for a foreclosed property. Anything we need to bring us up to speed on that, or?
Well, you have it, you have the quick claim in front of you. I sent it out with the packet.
Yep.
You had to foreclose on 7 properties early this year, and this will be the 6th property that's being purchased back by the property owner. And we have a 7th one. We need to, well, we have been working with that person on a potential poverty abatement, but that's the unresolved one. So this will be if you approve this tonight, this will be the 6th of the 7 foreclosures.
Okay, okay. I'll make a motion to approve the attached claim deed, releasing the property described in the deed to Gladys W. Silverstone Trust.
I'll second that.
Josh seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, we'll move that along. Thank you. And we'll move on to designation of town legal counsel. Any comments on this item, Matt?
No, I sent out Amanda Meter's letter. If you want, I can put that up on the screen.
Did everybody get a chance to
Yeah,
take a peek
I'm
at
all
it?
good
Yep,
with it.
We can move along if nobody has any questions or anything.
I'll make a motion to designate Amanda Meter as the town's legal counsel.
Second.
Lou seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right. Yeah. Let Amanda know and we thank her for her service.
Yeah.
All right. And the last one, Matt, you were looking to table this one on the low and
Yeah, I
moderate?
am. We haven't gotten that yet. We need to. Well, as soon as we get that information, we will put the application in. As I recall, the application for CDBG funds is due January 28th. So we have a couple meetings yet to do this, but we'll get that done.
All right, we'll add that into the next one, so.
Yep.
All right. That does it for official action items for this evening, and we'll start down on the end here with Tom, if we have any selectmen's discussion items.
Well, just a note to nag MDOT about those signs on School and Bristol Road. They're still not moved, but I know it's probably in their queue, but if you're talking to them anyway on some other matter, you could bring it up.
Keep that on your list, Matt. Oh,
Muted.
did we lose him? He's muted. There
Yeah,
we go.
I'll send them a note first thing tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, Tom. Lou?
I have a question, Matt. The girls' staff has really been working very hard. They've had a lot of problems this year. I'd like to see if we couldn't somehow take and give them $100 bonus to the staff.
I think that would be appropriate thing for,
We'll start signing
Christmas
those. We'll slide them down through this way. Okay.
Matt, did you hear that?
Yeah, $100 bonus for the office staff here. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
All right.
I guess if we have the dollars, I need to check with Cheryl. I'd like to make it a little more than that if we could.
Yes, I would agree with
I'm not
that.
You take taxes out and
Yeah, I would agree.
everything else. Yeah.
Better to do nothing than $100.
Can you suggest a figure?
We can give him some time.
It's hard to say without knowing the balances here, but yeah, I guess
Matt, why don't you get back to us on it?
okay, I'll send you
Yeah.
an email when I figure out the
Yeah,
amount.
We can reply.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. They'll appreciate it.
Sign this column. Yeah, I think we just sign here. On the quitclaim deed.
I have nothing else.
Just sign in this column here, Tom. You can just sign on the top. Yeah, put it in there. So, Mark, sorry, go ahead. Yep.
no, that's fine. I was gonna mention that too about the town staff. Thank you for all your work during these times. And then I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. Yeah. Josh?
I'm all good.
You're all good. Okay, that leaves it to me, but I think everybody's said what needs to be said, so I'm not going to top any of that. So, all right, so with that,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Josh seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
No.
All right, we've got some stuff to sign here, so don't
Okay.
run off real quick.
Away.
Yeah.
Today,
Probably